I on? Am I on? You can hear me? Good evening, everybody. Can't hear me? I'll talk louder. All right. Good evening, everyone. I'm Mike Jones. I'm the mayor of Windsor Heights. Thank you. No applause. No applause. On behalf of the City Council, City of Windsor Heights, thank you for being here. Thank you for being at our community center at our very under construction Colby Park. I have some prepared remarks, so I'll go ahead and read this. The City of Windsor Heights is one of 11 public, private, and corporate entities that collaborated in 2023 to support a study regarding basic income. Through our various public, nonprofit, and private sector lenses, we are each charged with addressing community needs using the resources available to us. As a local government, it is our responsibility to identify solutions to address community needs in the most efficient and cost-effective manner. Thus, it is important that accurate information inform our decision-making process. That is why we became one of 11 funders to invest in a scientifically valid research study to examine the impacts of a basic income on low-income community members in our central Iowa region. Our council believes that data-informed decision-making will determine the best ROI on any program or policy solution to address needs within our community. And as the mayor of Windsor Heights, I am both blessed and proud to sit with a council that values both science and data, and to be surrounded by neighbors in Urbandale, Des Moines, and Polk County that do the same. Tonight marks 1 year of payments for the UpLift study. And in recognition of this moment, we are grateful to have study participants here to share their stories of what they have experienced thus far in the pilot. It is a brave act to share your personal experience. So, on behalf of the funder group, UpLift team members, and our community, we thank the panel participants tonight for speaking with us so that we may learn their stories. With that, I would pass the mic to Ashley Ezio and Michael Berger, the UpLift project coordination team.
Thank you. Thanks for that warm welcome, Mayor Mike. Thank you all for being here for Stories from UpLift, our participant storytelling panel. My name is Ashley Ezio, and together with my colleague Michael Berger, we make up the project coordination team for UpLift, the Central Iowa Basic Income Pilot. So this demonstration of basic income in Iowa aims to provide local Iowa data to help inform cost-effective policies and programs that address economic stability in our communities. This research study came together with an 11-member funding group, and they were leveraging public, private, and corporate funding to really research and examine a different strategy to assist our low-income working families in meeting their most basic needs. With this strong investment in community and the expertise of our research teams from the University of Pennsylvania Center for Guaranteed Income Research and Des Moines University, UpLift launched recruitment efforts back in February of 2023. With support from over 30 different community organizations, many of the faces I see tonight, we had over 6,000 eligible Central Iowans apply to the UpLift study. From that pool, 110 individuals were selected at random to receive a $500 monthly income payment for 24 months. Another 140 individuals agreed to share their experiences as a comparison in our study's control group. As a reminder, you might see come up on the screen here, in order to be eligible, individuals needed to live in our Tri-County Community Health Needs Assessment area of Dallas, Polk, and Warren counties. They needed to have a dependent living with them up to the age of 25, and they needed to have a household income at or below 60% of the area median income. For a family of two, that's about $47,000 a year. Additionally, our participant pool mirrors the geographic makeup of our Tri-County area, with 65% of participants from metropolitan communities, 25% from micropolitan, and 10% from rural. And today, May 15, 2024, marks 1 full year of payments. So while we still have one more year of monthly payments to be distributed, the most recent spending data found on the back of your handout, you'll see our lovely faces on the back there, there's our most recent spending data. It shows that 42% of funds are going towards purchases of food and groceries. This is by far the largest category, followed by retail sales at 26%. That includes stores like Target, Walmart, where you can buy food and purchase other essentials such as clothing, toiletries, cleaning supplies. The final analysis of our pilot will not be available until the summer of 2026, but today we have the honor and privilege of hearing from 5 UpLift participants about their experience. So before I let Michael introduce you to these amazing women, I want to thank them on behalf of the entire UpLift team for sharing their stories and for all you bring to our community.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Michael Berger, and as Ashley mentioned, I am one of the project coordinators for UpLift, the Central Iowa Basic Income Pilot. Over the last few weeks, Ashley and I have had the honor and privilege to get to know these amazing individuals that are up on this stage. And let me tell you, it has truly been an incredible experience getting to work with each of them. Now, before I do get into their introductions, I would just like to acknowledge and give credit to the amount of time and effort that these women have dedicated to this storytelling process. It has been so inspiring to see them to really take charge of this storytelling opportunity and really make it their own and take charge of it. And so I'm so excited for you all to be able to hear from them tonight. But now I would like to introduce you to our panelists, and I'll be going from left to right. So starting us off tonight is Sky. Sky is a single mom of 2 amazing children. She is also a caregiver, a leader, a survivor, and a recent graduate with a certificate in sterile processing. She has a passion for writing and hopes that one day she will be able to write a book about her journey, and that is about where she got today. Next we have is Nicole. Nicole is a mother, a wife, and a community advocate. She has most recently become an entrepreneur and started her own business. And ever since I have met and known Nicole, she has been a motivated individual that wants to use her story to give hope and to inspire others to go after their goals. Next we have is Kelly. Now, Kelly is a single mother of 4 incredible boys, one of whom just graduated from college. Yes. She is also a new resident to a safe and secure neighborhood, so thank you for being here, Kelly. Our next panelist is Sheila. Sheila is a proud mother of a champion. You can peek that champion's ring on her profile picture that she shared with us. She is also a wife and a caregiver to her 2 granddaughters. Most recently, Sheila took on the title of entrepreneur and owner-operator for Thomas Dispatching and Logistics. And then our last panelist, Tanya. Tanya is a supportive mother with a passion for caring for her family and community. Recently, Tanya has transitioned to a new career that better supports her life and her family's life. And last, but definitely not least, our fantastic moderator, Teresa Zilk. Teresa is the driving force behind Teresa Zilk Creative Consulting, LLC, which is a small business dedicated to harnessing the profound power of storytelling as a tool for driving change, fostering awareness, and promoting genuine communication. She is also the visionary behind the award-winning storytelling platform, Stories to Tell My Daughter. Stories to Tell My Daughter is dedicated to centering the lived experiences of Black women and women of color in Des Moines and across the state of Iowa. She has also been featured in the Des Moines Register, Business Record, Iowa Public Radio, and Iowa Public Television for her work, and in June of 2022, she was recognized as Iowan of the Week for her work in mental health and Stories to Tell My Daughter. She is a sought-after panelist, speaker, writer, presenter, and mental health advocate, and she is currently pursuing a master's in counseling from Drake University. And she believes in the quote by poet Gwendolyn Brooks, "We are each other's harvest, we are each other's business, we are each other's magnitude and bond." We are so fortunate today to be a part of this conversation, and so I hope you learned something new tonight. But I think that's enough from me, so if you would, please join me and give a warm welcome to Teresa and our storytelling panelists.
Well, evening. As he stated, my name is Teresa Zilk. I'll be the moderator tonight. I don't actually think of myself as the moderator. I think of myself as the collaborator, right? I've had the pleasure and the honor of working with these women over the last few Saturdays, and it has been a phenomenal process. One thing I want you to know is that they totally owned this process. They took this process and they made it their own. So again, I just felt like I was a collaborator. Tonight is a special night. You have heard a lot about this project. You've heard people with opposing opinions. You've heard people who support this work. But what you haven't heard are the stories of the women who are actually having the lived experience, who are participating in the program. Before I go to them, I want to do a little bit of audience participation. So we're going to do a cheer. Do we have any cheerleaders or former cheerleaders in the audience? I see you, you're just like, okay, maybe. It won't be scary, I promise, I promise, I promise. So I just want you to do 4 times, uplift, uplift, uplift. Okay, that may have been 5, but who's counting? Okay, but uplift, uplift, uplift with as much vim and vigor as you can. Ready? Okay, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Uplift, 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 uplift. And a round of applause, please. Thank you so much for doing that. We're going to go ahead and get started. And so wow. That's why I said I'm the collaborator, not the moderator. Okay, I'm going to sit this in my lap. All right, that's how you know I'm human. So, ladies, so our first question, we're just going to talk a little bit about who you are. So if you could, and we'll start with Sky, if you could please shed some light on who you are and why you decided that Uplift was something that you really needed to participate in.
My name is Sky, and the most important thing I want you to remember about me when you leave here tonight is that I am a trauma survivor, a survivor of the foster care system, of domestic violence, and a recovery warrior. I am a single mom of 2 amazing children, as Michael Berger mentioned earlier, and all the obstacles I have overcome have made me the woman sitting here before you today. I decided to become an Uplift participant because I wanted an opportunity to grow and become a better example for my children in continuing my education and being able to maintain stable housing and personal transportation.
Thank you so much, Sky. Thank you. And please, please feel free to clap and support them as they speak. Please, please feel free to do that.
So my name is Nicole. I grew up in a household of community advocates, which I didn't realize until this. Growing up on the south side of Chicago, we have aldermans. And I remember my parents opening up our home for the aldermen to come and the community members to come into our home to listen to the aldermen speak. And then my father being a part of the local school council and volunteering in our schools, and then that gave me the drive to volunteer also when my children were in school. And then when we moved here, I dealt with a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety, and I was down for many years, maybe about 10 or 15 years. And then when the Lord brought me out of that, I was able to then reach out again. And then when I reached out to form my nonprofit, the first place I went was to the Evelyn K. Davis Center. And I had no idea about a nonprofit, but I knew I wanted to start a business to where I didn't want to charge anybody, because I was like, well, I don't have any money, but I want to help somebody, and so I don't want to charge them. And so the Evelyn K. Davis Center was able to give me the direction and to give me the tools, but not to give me the funds to do it, which was okay. That's what they did, which was beautiful. And so then with those tools, I was able to start my business. And then I was able to build my credit with the help from them. And so my husband and I, we were able to buy our home with the information that we got from them. My son was able to buy his first home a month after he turned 21 because of the information that I gave to him, or the information that we gave to him. And so it was, with the community teaching us, and then us teaching our children, it was just keeping on going. And so I heard about it from the news. And so then, it just kind of went from there. And so with the home band program, we were just moving on along. So when I heard about the UpLift program, I was like, well, why not? It is for the community. Let me try to be a part of it, because I think that, it will work for us. Thank you.
My name's Kelly. I came upon the program. My friend actually told me about it, and so I had applied, and then she didn't get it, so she was mad. I wanted to apply for the program because sometimes I just needed that little extra help every month. I do have 4 boys that I raise on my own, and so life gets hard sometimes, so that little extra helps us a lot.
My name is Sheila. I am a mother, of course, of a champion. We won the 4A basketball championship from Waukee in 21 during the pandemic, when, it was at the time we didn't know if we was gonna live or die. Only thing that I knew was to keep encouraging and keeping lifting up my children during that time. So my son, we are from the, well, they say the north, but it's from the hood. The 9th Street is where we lived. And he went to North High School, played varsity, since he was in 9th grade. And so by junior year, kids started picking on him because, he was kind of like the famous, kid. So it was like, okay, it was zero tolerance on my end because mama didn't play with the violence. So we had the opportunity to do open enrollment for Waukee. And that was the best thing that ever happened to us. I always tell my children, no matter what circumstances that you're in, that you can be able to win. And that's exactly what he did at Waukee. He won, history making. And so we are definitely, prior to, after he graduated, won the championship, we moved from the hood and we moved to Windsor Heights in a 2-bedroom. And so he went off to college, and I had the privilege of taking care of my 2 granddaughters. Okay, so now I have to upgrade because I have a 2-bedroom. When my son came home, he was on the couch. So, okay, mom had to do some changes. So we, applied for Ankeny, Iowa. And so now we are definitely in a much better space. It's just, flourishing. So when I found out about the program, it was, of course, on social media, and it was like the last time of applying. And you know how that fear of like, oh, it's just kind of like buying a lottery ticket. chances are you're not even gonna win. But you know what? You're gonna go and pay your dollar to buy that lottery ticket. So I just said, I put away that fear and I completed the application. Told my daughter, fill out the application. You know, it's not gonna hurt. You know, let's just try. And I just kind of forgot about it. You know, because like I said, it's just like the lottery. You don't know if you're going to win or not. And so when Ashley reached out to me and said, hey, you've got chosen, I'm like, no way. What's the catch? You know, because who gives you $500 a month for 2 years? I broke down crying because it's just like with that being chosen, it's huge. I was on my job for 6 years. Started off customer service on the phone, worked my way up to customer service supervisor, and worked my way up to quality assurance of customer service. I'm on a roll. And then I started investing in myself with real estate. Because I'm like, okay, I'm living paycheck to paycheck, I'm doing pretty good. So I said, let me invest in myself with real estate. But I'm just investing and taking the classes. And I passed my state, so I'm just keep going, trying to pass my nationals. And it's just like, okay, time is going by. And I'm like, okay, Sheila, you have to think of something else to do. Because at this time, I need that income coming in. So with the opportunity with Impact and with UpLift has had on my life, I was able to now invest in my small business and what I researched with the trucking business. So I'm going to be an owner-operator. I own my business in Thomas Dispatching and Logistics. And I also have, fixed my credit. So this lady right here has a credit score over 600. I am 13 points away from 700. Woo! Amazing. So yeah, it's just like this has definitely, uplifted my life and my family's. You're welcome.
My name is Tanya, and the same year her son won, my son lost, but my baby is still a champion.
Yes,
So,
yes.
Absolutely.
so Dowling's been on a downhill streak since that game, but we're not going to talk about that.
And Tanya and I worked together as well.
Yes, we
6
did.
years together, yes.
So that being said, I'm a mother. I have been divorced for 13 years. If anyone's been through divorce, you know that is not fun and very trying financially. So my son is going into his junior year at University of Iowa. My daughter's graduating next week from Valley. And I am ready to get my life back. I am okay with them getting older and changing the dynamic between our relationships. It's very beautiful. But I don't even really remember how I got introduced to the program. I want to say that it was from Planned Parenthood. I think I got an email encouraging me to apply, and I did. And then Michael reached out to me and said that I had been chosen. My partner totally thought it was a scam. He was like, oh, you're not getting none of this money. And I was like, well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I met with Michael a couple times, and a year later, here I am.
Yes.
And I really just think that not having any stipulations around it has made it very freeing. I mean, we're going to go into all kinds of questions about how it's affected our life, but at the end of the day, that's really the biggest impact it's had, is that there's no concern that if I do something differently or change jobs or make more money, this is just going to get taken from me. So I think it's really UpLift. I don't know that there could be a better name for it. UpLift really describes what it's done, I think, for everyone that's been a participant.
Yes. Agree.
So you all are doing a beautiful job up here. We are going to get more into kind of how things have changed for you, but one of the questions that I wanted to ask was, what was your reaction when you got the very first payment? What was that like?
Well, I called my partner and said, hey, I got the money.
I was shocked because honestly, you think it is a scam at first, especially with no strings attached.
Right.
I got it. It was this day last year, May 15th. This is my birthday. And
Happy birthday!
and it happened to be my 50th birthday last year. And it's been a year. And I did not tell my husband, so he's found it out for the first time today.
Oh, no.
And I wanted it to be that way because we use the money for capital for my business and for his business.
Okay.
And our businesses are both off the ground and running, and he got his first paycheck from his business this month, actually. So like it's been a year, and so now we have that generational wealth. Yes. And so I'm just so excited, and so yeah, and so it's just like, that's what I did. So like the first paycheck, it's just going up.
So lots of excitement with that first payment. Hey,
Yes.
so let's talk about, so you received that first payment. How did you decide what you wanted to use the money for? Had you thought about a plan ahead of time? How did that process work for you? Anybody can answer.
I just basically, like I had shared prior, I just wanted a better living space for my family. So that was my plan, to just move to a better neighborhood, to be able to fix my credit, just to be able to live, to have that cushion. It's just not a great feeling. It's kind of depressing when you work 9 to 5 and you get your check and it just goes away and you're like, okay, what did I just work for now? And then you got to work harder and keep going until that next pay period. So it was definitely something that I made a plan to be able to just be the best that I can be with that $500. And I'm here to say that I have savings now. Like I said, my credit is good. My son is doing amazing in college. And I'm able to take care of my 2 granddaughters.
So for me, at the time when I received my first payment, I was working as a delivery driver at Jimmy John's, and that was the only job that I had. I had tried working 2 jobs at the same time, but being a single mom, it was really hard on me to go to work and then go to work. And that's what I did to myself for a few months. And with those payments coming in, it helped me be able to pay bills that I was behind on, or just try to stay current with things, because it's a real struggle when you're a single parent and you don't have familial support. You don't have anybody that you can just call and be like, hey, I'm struggling. I really need help with this. I wouldn't be asking if I didn't need this help. And when you don't have that, it makes it feel it's a very defeating feeling. It's a very frustrating feeling. And having this money that I can count on every single month helps ease some of that stress and that anxiety and the frustration that I have every single month when it comes to my financial stability, being responsible for the 2 amazing human beings that are in my home. So for me, it's made such a difference.
I started looking for places to move. We lived on the corner of 9th and Forest at the time,
Oh,
so
yeah.
that was my first thing. My first thought was to move somewhere else, and 2 months after that, we did. So that was huge for us.
Amazing. Yeah.
So you ended up moving, and so how are things now that you've moved?
Good. I can let my youngest son play in our backyard without having to worry about, what's in the backyard.
Yes.
Which was a big thing before. So that's nice, and he loves it, and so it's changed. It's really nice for us just to feel safe and secure in our home and in our neighborhood. So
Yes.
Anybody have anything else they wanted to add? Nicole, looks like you wanted to say something.
I think I asked.
You did.
All right.
Let's talk about how the payments, let's have an in-depth discussion about how the payments are impacting your financial stability. I know that you've alluded to it, but let's have a bit more discussion around that.
I was in debt before, and struggling. Like every paycheck, I would have to decide which bill I was going to pay this paycheck and which one I was going to have to wait to pay next paycheck. And now at this point, a year later, I don't have a huge savings account, but if something happens, we have something to fall back on, which is nice. Or I can, pay for a graduation party, so,
Right.
and not have to worry about that money.
Absolutely.
It's taking a bit of the stress off of
Definitely.
you, giving you a little bit more wiggle room.
Yes. And if something is to go wrong, then we're good. We don't have to worry about how we're going to come up with the money to fix a vehicle, or so that's nice.
Definitely. During this year's time, I am a very good employee, but I have lost 2 jobs. And one is just that the position has been eliminated, and one said it's funds. But with the jobs being lost, like there was no care for me, like I wasn't stressed out, I wasn't like, oh, what am I going to do? Because I had this cushion, and I have savings because of this, I have the business going on. We have the business going on because of this. Prior to that, I probably would have been like, I'm not quite sure what's gonna happen, I can assist my husband now with his business. I can move on and do my business and not have to just be stressed out, worrying about, oh, let me go hurry up and find this 9 to 5. And I can volunteer at my daughter's school so that, when she's struggling, because that has happened, when she's struggling in school, okay, when I call my mom and she's struggling, okay, Mom, I can talk to my mom, and Mama doesn't have to say, baby, I'm working right now. I cannot talk to you, I can't text because of this. I mean, it just goes all the way around. It really does.
It does.
It really does. It helps us. It helps our children, and I don't think that is known, because when we're working that 9 to 5, which is what is good, but if that PTO is not there, and we don't have that like, if we have that strict adherence that needs to be done, I can't help my children the way that I would like to. And then they may struggle.
Yeah.
But this $500, it may seem small to some people, really helps. It really does help.
It's just having that financial freedom. I had to resign from my job after 6 years just from, I was doing a lot. And taking care of, like, my son is in college, so I had an empty nest briefly. Now I'm changing Pampers and going to school, daycare, and my whole routine has literally changed.
Because you've taken in your grandchildren, is that right?
Yes, ma'am. So yes, and they're 8 and 2. So you know the terrible 2, she gives me a run for my money. So grandma can't move like she used to move.
Well, some of us, our grandmas, we can't move like we used to either.
So yes, it's just a huge transition for me. And so that's why I'm just having my driving, my dispatching company, so then that way I can be able to work on my own schedule and being able to just be that dependent on me, because working a 9 to 5, that's just not in my cards, because I'm going to appointments and school, and now I have the opportunity. I volunteer now for Ankeny schools, so now I have that flexibility to be able to do those types of things that I would like to do.
Be present for our kids.
To be present.
I know for me, if it wasn't for these funds that come every single month, I wouldn't have been able to get my certificate in sterile processing and have the job that I have today. I'm gonna, in a week from today, I'll have been working for a month where I work at right now.
Congratulations.
And that would not have been possible without these funds. These funds paid my car payments, so I could get to Workforce Training Academy classes, which is how I got the certificate in sterile processing. I got to experience my first graduation ever by getting this certificate, and my kids got to see it. My kids got to be there and see mom graduate.
Yes.
And that was such a huge thing for me. It was really emotional for me, for them to be a part of that, but to see that, because I wanted them to see, if mom can do it, they can do it too.
Absolutely.
And that the possibilities are endless when it comes to that. And, you know, I didn't think that I would be 33 starting my career, but I'm so proud that I get to start a career. I am there. I'm doing it. I love going to work every day. Yes, I drive 45 minutes to get there, but I still love going to work every day. And I didn't have that before. And I had a time where I wasn't employed because I had lost a job that I was working in January, and then I didn't get a job again until March. And then shortly after that, I got this job at Pella Regional Health Center, which is where I work now. And I mean, they wanted me so bad. It was not even funny. They're like, I initially was just gonna do PRN, and then I was gonna try to go to school and work towards my surgical tech. And then I was like, I need full-time hours. And they're like, oh, well, we might be able to work that out. And like, they've just been so welcoming. And it's been nice to feel like a part of somewhere that's not just me and my kids. And I'm so grateful for the opportunities that have presented themselves for myself and for my kids because of UpLift.
So I hear a lot of wonderful things being said. And what I hear sounds almost like a ripple effect. You know, I hear you saying that you are less stressed, so your well-being is being impacted in a positive way. Of course, there's the obvious that it has given you some financial stability, and also given you more free time, so you have more time to spend with your kids, and even more time for yourself, so you can kind of dive into what your interests are. What do you want to do? Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. So let's talk a little bit more about how these additional funds have really impacted your family dynamics and your relationships, not only just in your home, but in the community that you live in.
Okay. Mine has changed just because I'm not always stressed about how I'm going to pay my bills or how I'm going to come up with the money for this or that. So like my mom said, you know, she doesn't always feel like I'm so negative anymore. I'm more, you know, enjoyable to be around. And I'm able to be more present with my kids too. So that's how it's affected my relationships.
Yes. I work with vocational rehabilitation. I have a financial counselor, and I will be working with them for 2 years, so then that way we can be able to go over my business plan. We can be able to make sure just, you know, learning the parts of business to how to be successful. So it's just all about that learning with me and I just didn't realize that we had that community type of help that's there to be able to not only uplift us, but to just show us that on that business counselor side, to be able to know the in-depth things of that resources that they can be able to just lift you up and to not just, okay, you're gonna start your business, there you go. No, I have a financial counselor, a business counselor, so then that way I can be able to have those questions answered, how to use Excel, you know, and things of that nature. So then that way I could be able to be a successful business owner.
So when you think about a year ago, when you started with this program, you think about the you then, and you think about the you now. How does that make you feel?
Uplifted.
Obviously,
Yeah. Inspired, empowered. I mean, those are the two greatest words I can come up with because I feel like I've come into my own in this last year. I mean, even just grown in the last few months. And my kids see it. And I see the changes in them because of the changes in me.
Can I ask you, what kind of changes have you seen in your kids within this year?
I mean, just behavior improvements. And my daughter, she's just come out of her shell. She used to be this shy little thing. You guys wouldn't believe that seeing her yesterday.
We've seen her.
I know.
Yeah, we've seen her.
But she was so shy, and she didn't have friends, and she was, you know, just awkward and just socially didn't really know how to navigate to talk to her peers and things like that. And she really, now she's like, I'm here and you're gonna know I'm here. Like, she makes herself completely known and present. And, you know, my son, he's just so sensitive and he's so kind and he has such a big heart. And he tries so hard in everything he does, and so does she. And they're really great kids. And I'm really blessed to have such genuine, down-to-earth children. And they're so funny. They're hilarious. Like, I don't know how I got such funny kids. But I love their personalities, and I love who they are. And I love watching them grow and seeing the people that they are becoming. And as they're getting older, just all the changes that are happening and how they're going through all of this with me and all these different transitions with my job and everything. And they're being understanding about it, you know. So that's a blessing.
Wonderful.
I think it's affected my kids just because, like, I can afford, you know, for them to do sports and things I couldn't do before, or like before I would be working, so I couldn't attend sports, but now I can. So, you know, it's mentally, I think it's changed all of us, made us all happier.
I would say dependable because I have the funds. So like when the insurance is due, I have that money. I have the money, and my 14-year-old is really funny because when she wants something and her sister saying, you don't have the money for that, she says, I do have the money. And she said, well, what money do you have? She says, well, I have mommy money. And it's like, I was like, you have what money? She said, I have mommy money. I was like, oh.
Trademark
that. I'm like, okay, you know, so. Yeah, you know, it's just part of it. So it's just like I am glad that she knows that, you know, she can come to me, you know. I don't buy the frivolous stuff, but she knows that, you know, okay, I can come to mama if she, you know, wants something that, you know, that is really important to her.
Nice.
Well, it's really just, what was the question? Sorry. Okay. Well, my son's away at college, and he's a sweet boy, but he likes to go half on everything. So a lot of times he'll send me things that he likes, and he'll be like, well, let's go, I'll go half on it with you. And I'm like, you're going to, like, I don't even know where you get money from, first of all, so you're not paying half of anything. And it's kind of an inside joke within the family. He doesn't expect anyone to buy him anything. He just likes to pretend. But it's nice to be like, you know what, baby, are you hungry? Let me send you some money for food, or let me order dinner for you. Or have you had pancheros 7 times this week, or only twice? Like, so it's added like a freeness in my relationships, really across all my relationships. There's less stress between my partner and I. My daughter, I don't know if anyone's been prom dress shopping recently, but they are like almost like as much as wedding gowns. Yes. And it's just like, I don't know how people pay for this stuff. So it's made everything just kind of a little bit easier. And everyone can see that on me. The not being stressed, first of all, stress from work carries over into your personal life, and it affects every relationship. So having less stress at a less demanding job and just a little bit more financial security or freedom or leeway, whatever you want to call it, it's going to have an impact on all of your relationships, and I definitely feel that.
Great. Yes.
We've all answered, I think.
Has everybody gone? Okay. All right. We'll move on. We'll move on. Okay. So when you think about your story and this journey that you've been on, because this is definitely a journey, where does this experience fall, and how do you rate it compared to other experiences in your life?
I would rate it very high. I didn't really get into everything. I feel like there's like a common mini story in all of us. I quit a dead-end job, and having the extra $500 a month really put me in the position to do that. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen, you know, the memes where they're like, screw this job, and flip their desk and walk out. Like, I kind of like envisioned myself doing that. But
I think we all do.
yes, but it was very empowering to know that I could move on and I could change my career, and it was very freeing and supporting, and yeah, it's been a beautiful experience.
So we have time for maybe 2 more questions. And the first one that I'm going to ask before we end is, you know that the project is set to end in 2025. With the program ending, how do you see your future? What's the future going to be like for you?
I'm already set up. I'll be set up, you know, I'll be able to prepare for it. So.
I can definitely see, you know, definitely myself as far as being that business owner. It has elevated my life to where I can have that change and be able to expect that change in my life, to where it's not a dependable type of change. It's a moving forward type of a change to elevate me. Educational-wise, like I said, with my small business, with my dispatching business, it's an elevating change.
Hey, thank you.
And I would love for it to be, you know, sent to 110 more other individuals. You know, let's not just stop with us. You know, it was definitely a blessing for us to be able to be a part of that. just so that, it can uplift someone else in the community to bring them out of that, because everyone needs that uplift at some point in their life, no matter what walks of life that you've been on.
Absolutely, absolutely. So last question. What do you want decision makers to know about how this program has helped you and how it can help others in the future?
Just how life-changing it's been for all of us. I mean, just the impact that it's made on our lives and our children's lives and our families' lives, just to remember that.
Yes.
Because it is life-changing for all of us.
Yes. Agreed. It just was basically life-changing. It was like hopeful. Just having that hope and having that hope to know that someone got your back, type of hope. Not, when you're dealing with the system and dealing with things like when you make an X amount of dollars, they take away things like, okay, you cannot get this, can't get that. So it's like you take 5 steps forward, but you take 3 steps back, and it puts you back in the corner. So it's always like it just gives people that hope to be able to do better, to be better, and give you that fear, like you don't have to have that fear anymore. Like, I'm not going to make this, or I'm not going to be able to do this. Like I said, we won the championship from the hood. Now we don't live in the hood anymore, granted. However, it's just to give that person that hope, give them that chance to be able to lift themselves up. Because not only are you lifting them up, you're lifting their children up, you're lifting the family up, you're lifting the neighborhood up, you're lifting the community up in a whole.
Oh, thank you so much. With that brings us to the end of our discussion. I want to thank you all for sharing your stories and coming out tonight, and I want to thank you for being awesome audience members.
Yes.
Can we get one more round of applause for them?
Aren't these women so inspiring and amazing? Thank you so much for all being here tonight and listening to their stories and listening to what they have to tell you. And so I just want to encourage you all to be able to stay up to date with the latest happenings of the pilot. You can do so by signing up for our quarterly newsletter on our website, upliftiowa.org. We are also partnering with local libraries this summer to put on a series of events in their Library Talk series. So if you swing by kind of the registration table with all of our materials, we have some flyers that have those dates and locations of where those conversations are happening. And before you go, please take that basic income survey with the QR code that you all had on your seats. Your input is so valuable to this pilot, so please share your thoughts with us. And tonight would not be possible without the help and support of numerous people, so thank you to our funders for investing in this innovative research. Thank you to Studio Iowa and Zach Boyden Holmes for capturing this event in audio, visual, and photography. Thank you to City of Windsor Heights for providing this beautiful space for us to host this event tonight. Thank you to our friends and staff members who helped make tonight possible by handling all of the logistics. And then one last thank you to our panelist and moderator, Teresa Zilk. And thank you for joining us tonight. Please have a great rest of your evening.